Hello, everyone. Welcome to our feature spotlight training session focused on using Artwork Archive reports to save time in your art career. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll let everyone kind of file in. And while we wait for everyone to join, please introduce yourself in the chat, your name, where you're from, the type of art you make. We'd love to meet you all. How long you've been using Artwork Archive. It's always fun to see. I'm going to go ahead and get through a few housekeeping items before we jump in. So this webinar will be recorded. Have no fear. We'll share the recording within 24 hours with everyone who's registered, along with these slides and the chat file. And then we also have saved a few minutes at the end of this session to answer any questions you may have. So please submit any of those that come up using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And please note that the Q&A button is different from the chat box. So the chat is a wonderful, informal place to introduce yourself and reach us if you have any technical issues. And the Q&A button is reserved for questions that we'll use to then guide our conversation at the end. And sometimes questions can get lost in the chat. So that's why I really want to emphasize, if you have questions, use the Q&A button. And then the chat, all fair game. You can introduce yourself, talk to other people, leave comments. That's great. And technical issues. So we'll try to get to everyone's questions, but if we don't get to yours, please know that you can always reach out to us directly at team@artworkarchive.com or by clicking on the little blue chat icon in the bottom corner of the screen when you log into your account. We are real people behind the chat, so you'll always get a human to talk to, and we really pride ourselves on that. So don't worry, you're not going to get an automated robot. It is us. And if you're on an iPad or mobile device, you may need to click on the 3 little dots on the bottom of your screen to access Q&A or chat box. And if you need access to captioning, you can click live transcript on the bottom panel and then select show subtitle. So this feature is only available if you have the app version of Zoom and aren't viewing on the browser. And in case you're new or you're not as familiar with us, a little history about Artwork Archive is we began in 2010 as one of the first cloud-based art inventory systems after one of our founders' mother, who is an oil painter, lost years of valuable information for her art career to a hard drive crash, and he couldn't find a solution. So he sought to make one, and the rest is history. And now we serve artists, collectors, and organizations in over 130 countries. And it is our passion to build the most intuitive, powerful, and reliable tool for art management. We like to think of Artwork Archive as an extension of your studio, so a studio assistant, if you will. And like I mentioned earlier, we are a cloud-based product, and that's really intentional. So you get all the benefits of being able to access your data from anywhere, anytime, on any device, while having enterprise-level security and the peace of mind that your data is safe and secure without all the drawbacks of a downloadable software. And another important reason that I wanted to mention this, that we chose to go this route, is we're almost constantly evolving the product. So we talk to users on a daily basis and are finding new ways to improve the system all the time. So I also wanted to mention it as well with reports in this webinar, because it means you can access and create your reports from anywhere on any device, which comes in handy when you're on the go and needing to reference your inventory, or you need to send an updated portfolio to a client on the spot. That comes in handy. And as a reminder, so this is a feature spotlight training session focused on using Artwork Archive's reports. I'll give an overview of the types of reports you can make with examples for how to use each one, and we'll guide you through the process of creating and sharing a portfolio page report with your clients. So we'll also learn how to create a report template for your most used settings, and then we'll end with a Q&A to answer any questions that you may have. And if this feels too advanced, so if you are overwhelmed with what we're showing you here and you just kind of want to get to know the product a little bit more and have a general overview of the entire platform, I highly recommend that you attend one of our 101 Getting Started training sessions that happen twice a month on Wednesdays. So the next one is actually tomorrow, and you can sign up for that with the link. We'll send the link in the chat. So if you're interested in a one-on-one session, we kind of dive into just the basics of your dashboard and getting started, how to upload, using Artwork Archive. It's really helpful. And it's really engaging, smaller groups. So it's nice. And yes, this will be recorded, and I will share the slides and recording in a follow-up email after the session. So we really appreciate you taking this time to learn more, and we hope that this webinar equips you with the knowledge that you need to feel comfortable using Artwork Archive reports and hopefully save you so much time so that you can get back to what's really important, which is making art. Let's dive in and take a look at the sort of reports you can generate in your Artwork Archive account. As you see, we have quite an extensive list with everything from inventory reports to artwork labels to certificates of authenticity. And the more works that you upload in the system, the more you'll get out of the reporting feature. So if you're brand new, we recommend starting with uploading at least 4 pieces. Now, you can create reports from various places in your account, and I'm going to show you different ones from various points to help you get a better understanding of their use. And then you can also always access all of your reports from the Reports Docs section on the left-hand menu of your main dashboard. We're going to start with reports that you can generate right from the main pieces page, which is what you land on when you log into your account. And these reports are what you'll use to showcase, share, and get more information about the artwork in your inventory. And if you didn't already know, you can always download your entire inventory to your computer by clicking the Export to Excel or CSV at the bottom of the menu on the report, new report on your pieces page. Okay, so one of the first and most popular reports to generate is an inventory report. This is a great general report to use when you want to create a list of your pieces with all the detailed information that you'd like to include. So you can see it has thumbnails for visual reference, as well as the ability to add contact information at the top and the date to ensure you know when this was generated. You can use it for managing really anything in your inventory, including available work or whatever status you choose to filter for the pieces. This is also a really great report to share with galleries or curators that want to see what pieces you currently have available if they're already familiar with your work. And what's great is that when editing the details, you can even choose to share a URL to download the original high resolution images you have uploaded for each piece. And as someone who used to write press releases for art exhibitions and needed high resolution images from each artist we were exhibiting, this comes in handy and would have been really incredible to receive from a lot of the artists, and would have been handy on my end when I was submitting as well, because I'm always, I used to have to search through different folders and drives, and this is one of my favorite features. And if you didn't already know, we recommend uploading a high resolution of your piece into each piece record when uploading your work. So this high resolution image will be stored on your account and then automatically downsized for the web if you choose to create a public profile. And we found this as an invaluable time-saving feature for artists because you no longer need to worry about storing those high resolution images, like I mentioned, anywhere else in a random drive. And then quickly, in terms of image and file size, we accept most file types up to 30 megabytes and suggest you upload a 300 DPI JPEG or a PDF image. And of course, high resolution images are not required. It's just our recommendation based on how we think your work could be best represented and what might save you time in the future, because we are all about time saving. And one last thing about inventory reports. This is also a great report to have on hand to give to insurance companies so that you have a record of all your pieces and their value. Our co-founder, Justin, actually joined forces with John to build Artwork Archive because he's an art collector who had work damaged in a flood, which left him scrambling to find receipts, documentation, proof of value for his insurance company. So vowed never again, search for a solution, couldn't find an easy one to match, and the rest is history. So I really love inventory reports for that. Tear sheets. So tear sheets are a more condensed version of an inventory report with smaller images on each page and just the essential information for each artwork. They're useful when you need to share an overview of your inventory while using fewer pages. So if you have a ton of work you want to cross-reference, you can use a tear sheet instead of an inventory report to avoid having to carry around a huge book of information. In ways we've seen artists use tear sheets include printing out to have on hand in the studio for double checking physical work versus what they have online, and using this as a price list for open studio events or gallery shows. So they'll use this too as in to give to an exhibitor for easy reference. So you and them aren't having to look through so much information when selling. This is just a tear sheet. It's a really great quick reference inventory report. Portfolio pages. So portfolio pages showcase one artwork per page along with the description and key information about the work. Portfolio pages are a sleek way to present work to a gallerist, curator, collectors, or studio visitors. And with the large image and description, recipients can really get a feel for an individual piece and see any provenance or exhibition history if you choose to share that information. And you can add your contact info and even custom branding like your logo or profile image. So when you share this portfolio to a gallery, they know how to contact you. And this can also serve as an exhibition catalog too, where you can include descriptions of each piece. Download and attach this to a virtual exhibition announcement so people can get a better idea of what work will be available. And for those of you applying to grants or residency programs, this is a great way to professionally showcase your work. Another great trick is if you have a collection of pieces in your account, like geometric work, and you want to have a special portfolio only showing those pieces, you can actually filter to include only those works and then have that portfolio on hand. And I'll show an example later, but this is important because instead of having buyers sort through every single piece in your inventory or trying to find something you think they'll like in a pile of work online or in the studio, you can curate for a better experience and include work you know that they're already drawn to. Or you can filter to include, only your newest work and share the PDF in your monthly newsletter. There's so many ways that this report can really save you time. And ultimately, it provides a really professional first impression to your work. Catalog pages are similar to portfolio pages, but include a large-scale primary image of your artwork as well as optional secondary pages with thumbnails of additional images and expanded provenance information. So if you have installation shots or want to show a piece from various angles, this is a really great report to do that. You can also include a footer on a catalog page with your custom branding and contact information. So this report is really great for interested collectors to have an idea of where a piece has shown and get a closer look at each piece in greater context. If you start to exhibit at museums, they will definitely want to see this information. So already having it on hand and being able to generate a report like this with a few clicks can save you actual days of your life and possibly years. No, but like portfolio pages, you can print these out for exhibitors to have on hand and can use these as a more extended exhibition catalog. I also really recommend printing these out and attaching them to pieces in storage or in your studio so that future buyers can have full access to this information. It gives collectors, a peace of mind and even really impresses them when they see a work they've purchased that it's exhibited somewhere before, or they know the whole life of a piece. And a really quick caveat to that. When I was first starting out as an artist, I had an artist who was farther along in their career and beginning to exhibit in various museums. And, I eagerly asked them if they had any advice to someone starting out, if there's one piece of advice. And they said, They looked me in the eye and said, please, if you intend to have a long career, start keeping track of your work now and where it goes, because you'll have to spend so much time backtracking and trying to remember those details if you don't. And you don't want to have to do that on a deadline, which I found to be invaluable information. So now I pass all of that to all of you and would love to hear if you also have experience of having to backtrack and locate a piece because you didn't keep track of where it went. Next up is certificate of authenticity. So speaking of giving your collectors peace of mind, you can create certificates of authenticity with each piece directly from within your artwork archive account. So certificates of authenticity ensure buyers that what they just purchased is in fact an original piece from you. And this is also something that they can have for their own insurance purposes. And you'll find the option for this report by clicking into an artwork and clicking New Report up at the top menu. From there, you can generate and then download and send. So you also are going to sign the certificate of authenticity to guarantee that it's original. I like to include COAs with every piece that I make, and I find that collectors are really impressed and also grateful when I do. It gives them a deeper sense of ownership and pride to know that they've invested in something original, and it also helps protect, from art forgery in the future. So I really love the ability to generate these immediately associating with a specific work of art right within your artwork archive account. You can also create artwork labels for all kinds of purposes. So some artists use them for the back of their artwork to ship off to galleries, while some create wall labels for exhibitions, or like I have done before, even have them on your pieces when they're laying around in the studio for easy access to information like pricing and sizes, and for when people, stop by for a visit. You have that information right there. What's great about these labels is that you have 3 different sizing options, all pre-formatted to Avery business card templates. So you can choose to create small, medium, or large labels. And on the medium and large ones, you can even decide to include descriptions of the piece. And on the large labels, you can include a thumbnail. You can include thumbnail images of your work. So this can be really handy if you're in a group show or just exhibiting in a public place, and you can have it, next to the piece or over to the side of the piece, and it'll give more information about the work. And you can also generate artwork labels from the locations tab in your artwork archive account for specific locations. And I can show you more about that in a little bit. Let's keep going. QR labels. Now, this is something that we all got very accustomed to during the pandemic, scanning a QR code for more information. And for the professional and master accounts, you can create artwork labels with QR codes right from within your account. So something to keep in mind when generating these is that there are 3 main QR code options for what happens when someone scans the QR code. So the first option is create internal links. So this is more your own internal reference, as it will direct you to the internal pieces page from within your account when you're logged in. If someone else scans this and they're not logged in to your artwork archive account, they will not be able to see anything. So it's really for your own internal inventory keeping. And I recommend this only if you want to, adhere to the back of a piece and scan for your own or a studio assistant's needs when organizing. This can be really helpful. So this is really for your own internal inventory management. So the next option is the public page links. So that's the second option you'll see when you're generating QR codes. Sorry, I'm gonna sip water. This is the choice most commonly used for art shows, as it will direct anyone who scans the QR code to more information on that specific piece on your public profile. So something to remember here is that you will need to ensure whatever pieces you create QR code labels for, that they're also marked as public because people will not be able to see any information when scanning this QR code if it's not. And like I mentioned, these QR codes are specifically attached to artworks in the system. So you can't generate a general QR code without attaching it to a piece. So these are attached to pieces in your inventory. But the public page links is what you would want to use for an art show that they can then scan, go and see your piece on the public profile as long as it's made public. And then the last QR option is a really popular one. It's the custom link option. So when choosing this one, you can create labels for artworks that include a QR code that links to any website, page, or place like a gallery's website, etc. It will be the same QR code for every artwork in that set of labels that you create and will only go to the link that you input in that text box. So if you're in a group show and want to include a QR code to your personal art website, I'd choose this option and input that URL in that box. And then that way, when someone's interested in a piece, they walk up, they scan the QR code, and then they're directed to whatever website you put in. They're directed to the gallery's website to purchase, or they're also able to maybe see a video that you've linked to it so that you can have you talking about the work. That's something, or your artist bio video. There are a lot of options for that. And keep in mind that when you're making QR codes, these will only print one size and 10 per page. Next up is the consignment report. So just like I showed you how you can create reports from the pieces page, you can also generate location-specific reports from the locations page. And when you click into a location, you'll be able to not only generate most of the reports I just showed you, but also a consignment report. And consignment reports allow you to generate a polished checklist of works that you will be dropping off at a gallery or a specified location. And with these, you can formalize an agreement between you and an exhibitor. You can stipulate terms and conditions of sales. You can inform handlers how art should be cared for. You can even add a header and a profile image or logo to further personalize, like you can on the other reports. And this report can come in handy when sending off work with, a shipping partner or leaving with an art handler. It's just another way to protect yourself, your work, and really impress your clients so that when they receive your work too, they have an easy reference right there to know, what showed up and how to care for it. So on the consignment reports, you can see that there's a date and a place for you to sign and whoever you're sharing this with to sign. Up next are exhibition reports. So similar to consignment reports, you can also create exhibition reports for a specific show or competition. So to generate these, you'll need to go to the exhibitions tab on the left-hand side of your dashboard and click into the specific exhibition you'd like to create a report for. And as you can see, you can generate most of what I showed you already. However, you also now have the option to create a report for accepted works or all works in that specified exhibition. And this is because when creating exhibitions, for example, say you submitted to an open call competition and only 2 pieces out of the 4 were accepted. You can create these reports for only those 2 that were accepted because they may be the only ones you're sending along in a shipment and you want to keep track of them. Or if you want to see what works you submitted, even if they weren't accepted, you can create a report for that too. It's really whatever you want for your own records. And I recommend using this if you have a group of work even set aside and need to keep up with important dates around pickup, drop off, show dates, etc. This is a really handy and useful report if you also have studio assistants and want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So if you ever also have had, like me, or I guess a friend maybe, sitting in a group, a bunch of artwork in the corner of your studio and you forget when and where they're supposed to be, this report is for you. It can also include the address of the exhibition and the important contact details so you can call when you arrive, email labels ahead of time. It's really great. It's kind of an all-in-one for your, applications, competitions, exhibitions. Now, before we jump into the platform, I want to briefly touch on some other reports that you can generate in your Artwork Archive account. And we'll cover these more in another feature spotlight session when we go more in depth on financials and contact management. But for your knowledge here today on reports, from the contacts page, you can generate address labels for each of your contacts as well as a contact report with all the information from your contacts from within the system. So use this when you want to send exhibition reminders, thank you letters in the mail. It's also really helpful for getting a general idea of who's bought what, and if you need to get any additional information, like maybe their phone number is missing, or if you need an updated address to send the certificate of authenticity to them afterwards. These are really great reports for that. And lastly, you can create sales and expense reports where you can keep track of all your sources of income. So, where your money's going, what you can write off at the end of the year for taxes. This is a huge time saver because you won't have to worry about tracking down all those expenses at the end of the year, but you can easily access with the click of a button and put a smile on your face and your accountant's face because you've saved both you and them so much time and stress. And you can also easily export these reports and then upload into QuickBooks or any other accounting software that you may use. So now that you have a general understanding of what's possible with examples of how to use what report when, I really want to dive into the platform and take you through generating one as an example. Before that, I just want to double check on Q&A if we have any questions that we kind of can answer now before I start sharing.
Yeah, so I've been able to go through. Everyone has a lot of great questions. Thank you so much. We have one, a lot of questions about if you can export the information, say if you want to move to a different platform, if something changes, if, unfortunately, if something changes with our business. And the answer is yes, you can export your information at any time. And that includes, so if Cassidy, you're in the product right now, you're right there. So you can just see as Cassidy's here, export to XLS or CSV. And this does include an export of your images as well. So you will see, you can do a test export at any time you like. And that will show you all of both the data that you've input into the system, as well as a URL to the image location, which it will continue to be there. So you can have access to those high resolution images in that export as well. And I'll keep going and noting them, but I would love to see the rest. I know you have so many good things to talk about.
Okay, great. Yeah, just double checking if there's any really urgent ones, but we'll get to them at the very end because we definitely want time for that. So I want to quickly show you where you can add your custom reports header to further customize what you create and send. This makes each report really feel like your own, and we think add an extra touch of professionalism. So when you log in and you're on your account, you'll want to navigate to My Profile, and then under Profile Info, which is what pops up when you click My Profile, you'll find where you can upload, here's your profile image, your logo, and then here's where you upload that report header. And we have a recommended size of 1600 pixels by 300 pixels. And you can test and choose different images for that. So on our test, we have, our logo and our contact information to add to the top. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. And like I mentioned before, when you log into your account, you can create various reports from different places throughout the platform, including the main pieces page. But for this, we are going to navigate to the main reports doc section on the left-hand menu. So I'm going to go over here and click reports. And like it states at the top, all your reports will show up here after they're created. And you can filter to search through the types of reports over here on your right and refresh the page up here with this symbol whenever you need to. And there is this section where it shows type, report name, and date it was created underneath. And then status is where you'll see either pending, failed, or complete. And info tells you how many items are in the report and who you've shared it with, or if it was for a specific show. So over here on the right, you can also edit and delete your reports. So something to note is that when you edit a report, the system will automatically regenerate a new one with your new changes. And this is because our reports generate pre-formatted PDFs. So each one's unique with so many different artists using our system. We try to keep these reports as flexible as possible so you can adjust them to fit your needs. And if for some reason you want to further edit something in a report and you want to take that PDF and completely change it, you can always download, a system like Adobe Acrobat or another PDF editor to change up the formatting. You'll also see here at the top where you can create report templates. So this is really important to know and to remember because it can save you time from having to reinvent the wheel each time. And I like to create templates for my inventory reports. So I can always have the same data and settings chosen to keep them looking consistent. And I know that by saving it as a template, I'm ensuring that the data I want to make sure I include, like signature info or price, is always there and doesn't slip through the cracks because I'm distracted or I'm tired that day. So when I'm creating to send off in a rush, this is really handy to just go ahead and click inventory report, choose my pieces, and then send off. Okay, so let's say a collector reached out and wants to see what I have available in my geometric style. So I'm going to show an example for that. I'd want to create a portfolio page. So I'll click new report and then choose portfolio page. And then here at the top is where I can select to make what I create here into a template. So I can save this as a template and type portfolio to a collector. Put a collector or whatever you title it. And then I have all of this information to choose from. So I can include secondary images with multiple images. I can choose how they'll show up. And I'm going to choose custom order actually. So I can choose, from the price, from last updated, from the type. This is how these will show up on the report. And I'm going to choose custom order so I can show you how that works on the next page. And then I can also include as little information as I want or as much information as I want. And since I'm showing my available geometric work, I'm going to go down. So this is where I'll show my contact info. I can include my profile image. I can include address, website, phone, email, different font choices, data options. Do I want to include that it's signed? Yes. Do I want to include any descriptions? Yeah. So here's also where you can have provenance notes, publication history. So I want to let them know where it's shown, where it's been, what it's been published in, and if anyone's owned it before. And then because like I said, I wanted to show my available geometric work, I actually created a collection with geometric pieces. So I'm going to use this filter here and I'm going to go to my collections and I'm going to click geometric because that's what I have created before. And then also because I decided that I only wanted to use my available work. Let's see, it's loading. I might be having some internet. Hold on one second. Okay, we are back. It's always so fun about lives is you're all here with us. So we are going to create this portfolio page. So portfolio page, save as a template. Portfolio page for a collector. And then I've chosen all my information. I do want to include signature info and I want these provenance. So like I said, for this filter, I'm going to go to a collection. I'm going to click geometric. And then because I want to show, here's all my pieces, but I want to show what's available. So I'm going to click status and only choose my available work. So now I have 2 of these. I'm going to click these pieces. I'm going to click move, and this will move them into the room in the report. And then I will click generate report. And then it will direct me back to the main reports page where I can immediately view. So it'll take me to show the view, to preview the report. And I can also download and copy the URL and share immediately. And if something doesn't look right, I can, so let's see if it's loaded. Here's that portfolio page. If something doesn't look right, or I'm like, oh man, I wanted to put these in a different order. So I can click edit here, make my changes. And I want to show you guys again what I mentioned earlier, the custom order. So I'm going to click custom order. And then it's already added. So I'm going to click next. With custom order, what's great is you can move these into the position that you want. You can use drag and drop as well. So if I wanted to change those up, that's how I would do the custom order. And you can do that on various different reports, but I really wanted to show you that. So I'm generating that report, and because I edited it, it will start pending and it will create that new and improved updated report that I generated for this with all my updated changes. So now say I want to share this with a past collector and a contact that I have in the system. So I will click share, and I can let her know what I'm sharing here. So with the contact, I want to send it to Antoinette because I know that this is what she wanted to see. And here I can say, here is what I have available. And then her contact record will show up. If you also wanted to send it to emails that are not in your contact records, you can here and just separate them with a comma. So I can click send. And this is so unbelievably handy to know when you're sending to a gallery or sending to different collectors. You just always want to have it on hand. And then what's great is it'll show that I shared it with Antoinette here. And like I mentioned earlier, you can download and attach this as a PDF to any email. You can then print it for in-person shows or catalogs, and you can copy that URL to share with anyone who clicks in an email as well. So they'll be taken to that digital PDF version here. And I shared it. I can see who I've shared it with. I shared it with Antoinette. And real fast, I wanted to show you that it shows in her contact record that I shared it with her today. So that's something that is kind of fun to see that not a lot of people know is possible. Okay, now that was a lot of information, but my hope is that you have a better understanding of all the reports you can generate from within your account. And as artists and entrepreneurs, we're required to wear so many various hats. So our aim is to help you save time, manage your career effectively, so you can get back to making art. And personally speaking from years of experience working as an independent artist and also in the gallery world for a long time, I can say that being proactive about how you present your work and yourself and how you organize it can ultimately set you up so much better for the long term. And also, speaking from the gallery and professional curator side, I can also say that being presented with a professional report like this or an already filled out consignment agreement with everything that I need to know about a piece, the price, how to handle it, it immediately registers in my head that this artist takes their work seriously and is someone I feel confident in investing in and working with. So it's a really easy way to level up your game by using reports. And with that, let's look at some questions.
Hi, yeah, we have gotten so many great questions, and ahead of time, if we are not able to get to your question right now, we do try to get to your questions afterwards. So we export all the questions, and we do try to get to your questions, and we will email you. So if we don't get to it now, we will try to get to it. So let's go to just a few. I think we have about 15 minutes left here. There's a lot of questions about label features, and being able to change font sizes or change formatting on the size. And then also replay information, just as a general blanket answer to all of these questions. Yes, we will be sending out a replay of this information tomorrow. And we will send out a chat and we will get to all of your questions tomorrow. Thank you so much for attending and all these great questions. We'll try to get to a few right now within the 15 minutes that we have. I know you've all been here for a bit of time now. So we have a few questions coming in about labels and font sizes. So right now, font sizes, they are standardized to fit the certain types of labels. There are a lot of label difference from country to country. And so we do our best to fit those. We are working on them this year. If you have any questions about this is one of the things that I love the best about this product, is that we are very open. So if you have a specific label or information that you need, please do email us. We're very responsive to these suggestions. Right now they do become small, so we are working on that because of the formatting issues that we have to accommodate a lot of information on that. But please do let us know. Let's see. There are still a lot of questions about the type of image and how high of a resolution image you can upload. So for those of you who've been with us for a while or just new, you can upload images up to 30 megabytes, which is quite large. So we always recommend uploading the highest resolution image, and then you can upload up to 10 per image. And then if you're on the professional or master plan, you can add additional images after that. So you can attach unlimited images or PDFs of contracts or installation shots. So you can do that on each of those images. And then we have a lot of questions about just where in general to find certain reports. So people are asking where to find consignment reports. Where do you find a catalog page? You can find those all under reports, but another great thing to do is, if you aren't already familiar with it, Cassidy, can you show the resources section and show help? And
Yes.
so we spend a lot of time creating resources to help answer questions like this. So if you aren't familiar or you want to know where to create a catalog page, come into here. Like, someone has probably answered this question or asked this question before. So ask catalog page, and then you can see here you get how to create it, and it'll show you step by step how to create a catalog page and where to go. So with each of these options, we have a short tutorial. It's not too long to be able to answer all of these questions. We have some more questions about what XLS or CSV mean. We have a few questions. So this is an export, which XLS is a spreadsheet option. That's your that would be more like your spreadsheet option, and a CSV is a data option, but these are all, you can export all this data and then import it into another database system. So I do recommend that you test it out, and we can help you learn more about which each of these mean, but you can export each of these into what basically looks like an Excel spreadsheet. All right. When you use a template, can you create your own, or is it generated by AI? It is. Excuse me. We're all sick over here. When you are creating a template in Artwork Archive, it is using the Artwork Archive settings, and it helps you create your chosen settings. So if you select any of the number of data fields, or if you want to have a header on it, or if you want to have any of the personalization options, then that will be created again within that template. And we have another question about creating a template. So maybe Cassidy, can you just go through quickly about how to show a template or how to create a template?
Yes, of course. So we'll click new report and we'll just go to the reports page. So you can always find your templates in the reports page here. So these are templates technically that we have created in our account. So this is an inventory template that I've created based on the settings that I have chosen here. But when you're creating a new report and you don't have any templates up here, then you're going to create, a new inventory report. And then you're going to choose all your settings that you want to save to not have to, redo and reinvent the wheel. So if you're like, I know in every inventory report, I want to have my artist name, my location, my price, size, medium, and that's it. And I want the sans serif and I want to include my header. Then you will go up here and you'll say, main inventory report, and you will save it as a template. And then once you, generate this one report, so I'll generate this one, those settings will then be saved as main inventory report. So when I click on this, whatever I chose for the last one will automatically be all the settings chosen. It won't include the artwork, of course. It'll just be a template, and then you can include other artwork. But I hope that helps. I hope that is a helpful visual of what it means to create a template. These are not templates that are pre-made. These are ones that you are creating for yourself as your own templates based on your most used settings.
Thank you. We have a few questions about sharing a report. So if we can quickly go over that again, we have a few questions about when you share, what email does it come from? There is an email within the system that is from you, so it will come from you, your email. But yeah, show again one more time so we can go over that.
Yeah, so if I'm sharing a report, contacts are people that you have in your contacts. You filled in information and you've added their information in the contact section of your Artwork Archive account. You can also create groups of your contacts. So here are some groups that I've created in this account. And, I can send to all of my VIP collectors all at one time. So that's something I can do. If you want to send to someone who you haven't created a contact record and say that, they are a brand new contact or a potential gallery, then you can type in that email. And if you want to send a multiple, you'll just separate it and then you will, type in all the emails that you want. And then you'll send the message and you can send a copy of the email to yourself. And this will come from your email from Artwork Archive, and you will be able to then, they will reply to your email. So we don't hold anything in terms of this correspondence. We show that you shared the report, and then you'll take that correspondence to your own emails and continue that personal relationship, because we really want to emphasize that one-on-one relationship that you have with collectors. That's really important to us.
Thank you. And we have a few more questions as we're finishing up about the 101 tomorrow. So I did post it in the chat and we will send it in the follow-up email for those of you who are interested. Cassidy, what time is that tomorrow?
Yes, the 101. It is the same time as today. So 12 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central. I'll send it in the follow-up.
Okay, great.
But yes, please join us for the 101.
Yes. And then a few questions about custom ordering. And this is a great feature that we just recently added. So if you can, as our last item, go over custom ordering for reports, that would be great. And then again, if we haven't gotten to your question, we will do our best to go over all the questions that we've gotten today. And if it's really urgent, please, like, we are super responsive. One of the questions was, how responsive are you on customer support? We are all in there all the time. You get real people. You'll reach Cassidy, you'll reach me, you'll reach our co-founders, you'll reach our support team. We are all in there. We've built this product and we know it better than anyone else, and we are here to help you. And there's nothing we like better. So please reach out. It's at the bottom. Or if you aren't on a plan yet, or you don't have a trial yet, you can reach out to us at team@artworkarchive.com, and we will get back to you within a few hours.
Yes. Okay. Real quick on the custom order. So it'll be the option of custom ordering and piece sort options. So you'll want to click here and then custom order and then next. So this is where you will be able to customize the order of your artwork. And you can only do this if you've chosen custom order as your sorting option. And then, I want this to be the last one to show up. So I'll move it to position 3. And they all look the same. So it's a little confusing. So I can drag and drop as well to move it to exactly where I want it to be. And then that will set their sorting locations in place. And then I'll generate report and it'll be all set. So that's how you custom order. And we have 2 minutes left. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for showing up. Thank you so much for being here today and learning more about reports. We really wanted to give you guys more information so that you could save time, because the thing that we want you to do more of is make your art. So if you had any, aha moments or things that you learned, we'd love to hear that too. And you can always access me at the email that I sent you the link to this webinar for, so Cassidy@artworkarchive.com. And you can also always contact all of our team at team@artworkarchive.com. And I'll send along all of these resources as well as the link to the recording of the webinar. So thank you so much. And we hope that everyone has a really great day and go make some art.